Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Mathis. Welcome to 7 Minutes to PMP Mastery. We are a premier ATP, and today we're going to be looking at structuring and working with project teams. So, as you look at your PMP exam and prepare for it, one of the things that we want you to make sure that you understand is that you're going to be working in a team. So, when you're taking this test, you want to think like, how should I answer this question based in a team environment? So it's not uncommon for them to talk to you about teams, how much authority the team has. One of the areas they talk to you about specifically is called co-location. When people, when possible, you put a team together in the same location, and virtual team building for remote. And so you'll have both of those on your test, remote project teams as well as co-location. Now, typically when you talk about co-location, it's going to be over when you're talking about when you're talking about Scrum and Agile teams. You also will be introduced to what's known as a team charter. In other videos, we've talked about this a little bit, but a team charter and a project charter are not the same thing. A team charter focuses on the mission, the values, the working agreements for the team. A project charter authorizes the project. So keep those two straight as you think about it. Now, let me give you some key points about team building. So, first off, regular retrospectives and celebration of wins is part of the environment, whether you're doing traditional project management or agile. Now, retrospective and lessons learned, are really the same thing. You also are going to be making personal connections with your team members and as individuals and trying to connect with them. Also, remember, one of the things that you will do on the agile side for teaming is going to be what's known as a 15-minute daily stand-up meeting with your team members. So make sure that you think about that, you have that, because that's going to be one of the things on Agile and Scrum projects that you're going to be working with. Now let's look at the building structure with a team charter. We know the team charter is what puts some of the guardrails around what and how a team will work. So a strong team relies on clear alignment. In the PMP practice, creating a team charter helps establish the foundation for collaboration. And so you define your team's mission, your goals. Other things could be part of this as well, such as when you're going to meet, how often you meet, what are the expectations of the team, code of conduct for the team. So a lot of things fit in under that umbrella of a team charter. That will probably be on your test for sure. This is a newer concept for the PMP exam, and so this is typically one of the things that they will test you on is the newer items for sure. Also, agreeing on the values, the working agreements, the communication style meetings, the norms, decision making. All of those are part of that team charter, clarifying the roles, the expectations. So, for the PMP exam, a couple of things to think about. When expectations are clear, conflicts decrease, and accountability increases, which improves overall team performance. And that's one of the reasons why PMI wants you to use a team charter, is that the expectations are going to be clear to be able to reduce conflicts and make sure people feel supported in working on the project. Look at a second tip. This is strengthening the relationships through personal connections. So high performing teams are built on trust and understanding, especially in remote or hybrid environments. So you will have some remote and hybrid questions coming up on your test. So remember to use co-location when possible or virtual team building activities for distributed teams. And the reason for that is because, once again, you've got to get it in your mind that we are a team environment typically when answering a lot of these questions. So now let's take a look at the PMP exam tips. So let's give you a possible exam. So this is dealing with managing conflicts, which is part of teams and part of the people side of your test. So a project manager is leading a hybrid team across 3 time zones. 2 senior developers have an ongoing dispute about technical architectural decisions that is slowing sprint velocity and creating tension in daily stand-ups. The team lead has tried to mediate informally, but the conflict persists. What should the project manager do first? Now, the way that question is asked is very similar to what happens on the real test. They'll ask you, what should you do first? So they're looking for you to go through and do a sequence of what you think you should do first. So A, escalate the dispute to the project sponsor and request a formal arbitration session. Remember, typically on the PMP test, it's not good for you to escalate something away from yourself if you're the project manager. That's usually not your best answer. B, analyze the sources and context of the conflict to determine the most appropriate resolution strategy. C, remove one developer from the project to restore team morale and productivity. And D, establish new ground rules that prohibit technical debates during stand-ups. So as you look at these, a couple of these could have truth in them. And it's not uncommon for you to have two right answers, but one is technically more right than the other. And so your best answer here is actually going to be B. And so what was B? Let me back up here and let you see it one more time. Analyze the sources and context of the conflict to determine the most appropriate resolution strategy. So you don't want to escalate it. Typically, that's not your best answer. And establishing new ground rules that prohibit technical debates, that's probably not going to work well because you already have your team charter. Removing a developer from the project, that's not going to help because now you're down a person in your team charter. So the rationale behind B was, according to your exam content outline, on managing conflicts, requires the PM to first identify conflict sources and analyze context before implementing any resolution strategy. Escalation, personnel changes, or rulemaking without understanding the root cause are premature actions. So as you can tell, this causes you to take a look at the project of the PMP questions in a little different manner. All right, so let me bring this to a close for you. Thank you so much for watching 7 minutes to PMP Mastery. If I can help you in any way, please make contact with me by 800 number or email. And we have virtual PMP exam boot camps every other month, and I'm the one who teaches it. I'd love to have you. And so if you have questions about any of this, please send me an email. I'll be glad to answer you. Have a great day. Bye now.